Yeah.
Can you guys hear me online out there in the internet world?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Well, hi guys, it's nice to see you all. Like Enrique said, I'm a financial planner at Northwestern Mutual, but I'm also our director of internship development. So essentially what that means is I spend about half of my time with clients and doing their financial planning. And then I spend the other half of my time with all of our intern leaders across all of our 6 offices and all of our interns in our internship program, really just help them find success and make it the best program that it can be to prepare our interns to be financial planners. So we'll talk a lot about that. But I thought I'd just share with you guys my story and how I found Northwestern Mutual, why I wanted to do financial planning. And of course, if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. But I grew up in the high desert in Victorville. Are you from the high desert too? I know Robert is. What part of the high desert are you from? Victorville? Okay, yeah. I grew up in Victorville. I went to high school at Apple Valley High School. Growing up, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad worked for the city of Ontario. And I would say financially, like we never talked about money as a household. I didn't know like people had financial planners. I was like not even aware of this realm. Ended up going to Cal State Fullerton for school. And at that point, I found Northwestern Mutual, I think like end of sophomore year, beginning of junior year. I was debating on being an accounting major or a finance major. I had no idea. No one like in my family was in business, so I didn't really have like that guidance either. And I went to a career fair for extra credit for a class for my accounting course. I didn't really know what to do. I like built the resume the morning of and said, all right, I'll go to this career fairs, talk to some people. And that's where I found Northwestern Mutual. They were the first company I talked to. And immediately I was just impressed by like their openness, how nice they were. They were really easy to talk to. I was just very impressed by the conversation we had. And then I think I talked to like one more firm and then I was like, I really like this. And then they left. And not thinking I would get an opportunity, an internship or anything like that, but they called me the next day and I started going through their internship interview process. And I think what drew me specifically, again, up to this point, I had like no idea what financial planning was. I didn't know much about it. But what drew me to the opportunity was first the company culture. Everyone that I met there was so nice. Like, I didn't feel like I was getting interviewed. I truly felt like they wanted to know who I was as a human and what my goals were to see if I'd be a good fit. And that was really attractive to me. And then the more I started learning that like you can talk to people about their goals and what they want to accomplish and their finances and like actually help individuals become more financially secure, that was really exciting to me. I didn't see myself sitting behind a desk all day long. I didn't see myself just like crunching numbers all day. I loved humans. I loved interacting with individuals. But I also was really intrigued by money. I think it was really interesting to me. I was like the kid who always saved a bunch of money or like hoarded my birthday money and never wanted to spend it. So then I started the internship program. That was the beginning of my junior year. The program itself made me switch to become a finance major. And Cal State Fullerton at the time, they had a financial planning program where you could take your like bachelor's degree courses and have it be the credentials for the CFP. So that was really exciting. So I decided to do that. And I started to build a business. So in the internship program, just so you guys know, also, I'll share a little bit. I forgot I had slides. Sorry.
No, you're good.
How do I change
Use
this?
the arrows. Oh.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So the internship itself, the other thing that was, I think, really Important for me is what company I was with. I wanted to make sure I was with like a really strong, well-known company. And so if you guys don't know, NorthWestern Mutual has been around for 150 plus years. They're a Fortune 90 company. And they started out originally way back in the day as just a life insurance company. But then now, they're a broker dealer. They do full financial planning. They're a full financial services firm. In the internship program, essentially what you get to do is learn from all of our best financial advisors and financial planners and start to build a business while you're still in school. So that was really exciting for me. I liked the idea of being able to do the exact same thing for the most part as all of my full-time financial advisors. I wasn't giving people coffee. I was not making, I don't know, copies for people or, just writing notes for them. I was actually doing the work of building a business. So every single day in the internship program, you're really marketing yourself. You're figuring out who is your market, who do you want your clientele to be, what does that look like, and how do you start efficiently bringing on clients with a partner here at our firm, with the hopes that you can completely eventually just take on that client yourself. So I really enjoyed that. I will admit, at a very slow start in the internship program, I was not very successful in the beginning. I was in the program for 18 months, and the first 6, I was like not doing well. I struggled with figuring out who are my clients going to be, because NorthWestern Mutual, they don't feed you clients, right? You're in charge. It's your business, so you get to really pick who do you want to work with. Is that doctors? Is that teachers? Is it nurses? Is it software engineers? Is it people in, the tech industry? You get to choose that. So I had a hard time figuring out who my clients were. But then I started working with first responders and their families. I just got referred to a bunch of them, and started really understanding how to build a business, and was getting more brave to ask for referrals and to ask for people to be willing to take a meeting with me and my experienced partner. And that was really fun. Long story short, my last year as an intern, I finished 14th in the nation out of all 3,000 interns across the country. So that was a really big goal of mine. I was aiming to be top 10, got 14th, but there was only one other female in the top 15. So that was really exciting. It took a lot of work, but what it did for me is it created a lot of opportunities while I was still going to school. Prior to the internship program, I had 2 jobs. I was blending smoothies on the weekends or at our baseball games. Then I was teaching dance on the side. And by my senior year, I was able to quit both of my jobs and have my internship, which was my job at the time, pay for me to go to school and be financially independent. So it was a really big opportunity for me, and created a lot of financial freedom early on that I never would have thought I would have had in college, let alone in my 20s. I'm 26 now, so fast forward 5 years later. And so that was really fun. I'm going to pause there. That was a lot, but I have more, but what questions, if anything, you guys have so far about me or my experience or NorthWestern Mutual in general?
When you took the internship, what type of people did you end up working with? Like teachers, like you said? I was just curious about that.
Yeah, I think in the beginning, you just talk to any human being who is willing to talk to you because you want to start building a clientele. But what became my niche market were firefighters, their families, military, first responders. Those were individuals that I started working with. Now in my practice, it looks a lot different 5 years later. I work a lot with strong female professionals, female attorneys, females in the tech I love working with like strong, like female professionals, and then a lot of young families too. But yeah, it's evolved over time, and it'll probably evolve as I continue to do this as well. You had a question?
No.
No?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you said you were a junior when you applied to the internship, and then you also said that you applied after to find as a finance major, right?
Yes, exactly. So when I first started the internship, I was still undecided on what my major was going to be. And then I fell in love with the career of being a financial advisor. And so that's when I switched to a finance major and started focusing on getting as credentialed as possible. It was really important to me that if I was going to do this, I was really educated and was providing the most value I can for my clients. So that's why I started working on getting my CFP as soon as possible. The nice thing is NorthWestern Mutual sponsors, your investment exams. So once I hit like a certain benchmark in the internship program, I started studying for my, securities licenses, my 6, my 63, my 7. And yeah, it was really important to be able to stand on my own in a client meeting and provide that, education and value.
So prior to applying, how much experience did you have in finance? Because for example, me, sometimes I'm hesitant on applying because I feel like maybe I don't have enough experience, but I know I'd like to apply to these kind of internships.
Yeah, that's a great question. No experience. And that's what's really fun about our firm too. We have really great training. So literally the only experience I had for jobs prior to NorthWestern Mutual internship was teaching like 4-year-olds ballet and like working at a coffee smoothie shop. Like I had no prior internship experience, but what they are willing to do is say, hey, if you are really hardworking, if you're willing to take interpersonal risk and you have a passion for this, anyone can learn and get the knowledge. It's more of those skills that will help you be successful if you want to be a client-facing financial advisor. Yeah, and we have a lot of career changers as well who come, who have been in the entertainment industry for 10 years and then switch their careers or, so it's more about like your personal skills than like previous, work experience in finance.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned that they paid for your school. Was it just tuition based or like books and stuff, or was it just like pay like $14 an hour or something?
Yeah. Oh, great question. So Enrique, feel free to jump into anything internship if you want.
Okay.
So what's nice about the internship is you get paid the same way that all of our full-time financial planners will get paid. So initially, the compensation is, so first you get your California Life and Health license, which allows you to be able to place insurance for clients, the appropriate insurance that they need. So you get paid on commissions for like anything that you need to place for a client. And then there's also a stipend as well that you receive. And then once you get investment license, you get paid on managing people's investment portfolios. So by the time I was like a senior in school, I had my investment license. So I was like managing and helping manage clients' portfolios and was getting compensated on that and other insurance, and then also stipends.
And to your point, to your question about just like our development, we have, she actually just was with our interns before we got up here, but we have a development session, which we call Monday morning meetings, where we all get together as an office and we just go over what we can get better at, how you guys can improve. Tuesdays, we have a language clinic just to help you guys learn how to speak to your clients. Wednesdays, we have a session called Mastery, where it's always led by a senior advisor, and they usually pick a case that they're working on or a topic, and they just go in depth on that. And our office actually just added a second language clinic just for different cases that, situations are arriving, we can just go through in depth and discuss it. And then our Fridays, we just started our own intern session, our group session with our college unit director, who couldn't be here today. His name is Josiah Coloma, but He pretty much sits down with all of our interns and goes through any questions that you guys have or may just like need more knowledge on, and kind of breaks down specific cases for you guys just to, help you guys improve. So there's always constant development and training. This is weekly. And if you guys can't make it because you're in class or you have class, or it's fine. Like, you guys don't have to show up to everyone, but it's there for you guys as a resource. So you guys don't feel like you guys don't know enough, because you will learn a lot.
Yeah, all of our interns go through extensive training when they first start. And then there's all that ongoing training opportunities throughout the week. And then you're learning a lot because let's say Enrique is an intern, right? And I'm the senior financial advisor, and he says, hey, I have a potential client who wants to have a financial plan meeting. Me and Enrique would be in that meeting together with that client. So you're also learning and seeing and hearing a real financial planner conduct those conversations and learn it, and then see it from start to finish, from when you first meet them to potentially when they become a client, all the way into reviewing their financial plans and continuing that relationship. And then, so there's no income cap, with the internship. So no one's going to say, oh, we're only ever going to pay you $15 an hour to work here. You can make as much or as little income as you want based off of your work ethic. It really is creating you a platform to build a business. The best example I can think of is if you were going to be a franchisee owner of McDonald's and go open up a store down the street, they're going to give you all the tools and the recipes and the things to be successful. And it's up to you to really make that business work. That's kind of the equivalent in NorthWestern Mutual in terms of how it's structured.
And you also mentioned about having class. How flexible are you guys, or what is the required amount of time per week that we have to do the internship program?
Usually 15 to 20 hours a week during school. Thank you. If it's not 15 to 20, 12 to 15, currently I scheduled our interns from 12 to 15 hours a week, just because they all have classes. And honestly, our interns are probably in more than I am at this point, just because one, they really like doing the work and they just love learning. So we're pretty flexible with you guys' schedules. And like I said, I don't try to schedule you guys too much. I try to just, because I used to be in school, so I know how it is. But our interns are usually there for 20 hours a week now. It's not more on their own. They show up.
Yeah. For me as an intern, I'll share a little bit, and then I'll answer your question. I'll share a little bit about how I balance my schedule. Because like I said, my first 6 months in the internship program, I was going to school full time. I had those 2 part-time jobs that I was telling you guys about, and then was doing this internship. But what attracted me to this opportunity too is no one was telling me necessarily when I had to take a meeting, right? No one's saying I had to work 8 to 5. I was able to work around my school schedule, because if I wanted to, call and start trying to get clients on my calendar, I got to dictate that calendar. I could, say, let's say if I had class, normally I would go to the office Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I would do my classes Tuesday, Thursday. Schools would be Tuesday, Thursday, class would be Monday, or work would have been Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I just would schedule myself. I think the nice thing is, I think to be successful in the internship program, you really want to put during school 15 to 20 hours a week. You want to treat it like a part-time job, at least 15. And then during the summer, that was my job. I was working, 40 hours a week. But it's fun. There's a lot of opportunities, and there would be days where I'd be go to the office in the morning and then drive to class in the afternoon. And honestly, I miss those days now, just being in the office all the time. But it's flexible. And again, there would be days, because I really wanted to be successful, and I was aiming to be, in that top 15. There's days where I would be done with class at 2 and then I'd be going to the office and like getting to the office while maybe some people would be leaving, but like it's, you get to choose how hard you work. You're like an entrepreneur. You have the question.
Yes, so we have a question in the chat.
Okay.
I am an international student and I am qualified for the CTP program, which allows me to get 12 months of internship prior to graduation. Am I able to apply for an internship position?
We typically don't have room for international students. But I mean, that might be a discussion just for the internship. So tell them to email me and I can just follow up with them about it.
You can put your email here.
Yeah.
Yeah, typically, depending on international students are, sometimes we can't have them, sometimes we can, just because we are getting a bunch of different licenses and there's certain just things that we need to have and make sure. But yeah, it's always a discussion whether or not it can happen.
Yeah.
Great questions. Any other questions about me or experience or internship? I can tell you guys a little bit about like what my story looked like from when I graduated and like why I decided to continue to go full time and where I'm at today. But any other questions? No? Okay. I think, you know, the biggest thing that was important to me when I decided I'm going to continue doing this with Northwestern Mutual after graduation. Again, culture was a really big deal. But the second thing is I wanted to make sure that I was providing the most value I could to my clients when it comes to financial planning. And I wanted to be a planner. I didn't want to be a investment guy or gal or an insurance gal, or like I wanted to do full force financial planning, and their platform really allowed me to do that. Like, do you guys understand the difference between like maybe an investment advisor versus a financial planner? Like what you guys think the difference is in that? Who wants to take a guess? Yeah.
For a financial planner, I feel like it's a lot different in the levels of money that you're dealing with rather than like an investor, because you know, sometimes you can control like the investments, usually you can't, but with a financial advisor, you usually are able to work with like a stable amount of like income usually.
Okay, yeah, that was a good guess. Any other guesses, like different between an investment advisor versus a financial planner?
So like, investment advisor using like certain options of like different investments, they go with you to risk maybe, while the financial planner kind of creates a plan for you and across, like they spread across like a certain amount of time maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no like one's better than the other, and like every career path is, you know, great if that's what you want to do. But in terms of actual logistics, there's a lot of just broker dealer firms or investment advisors out there who will only focus typically on the client's investment portfolio, right? They're going to say, you came to me, you have X amount of dollars and you want to put it in a IRA, you know, this is how we're going to manage it, and then that's it, right? Versus a financial planner by nature, what you're really looking to do is do a full scope financial plan. So you're taking into consideration those clients' goals. You're understanding what's important to them, who's important to them, where are they at, where do they want to be, right? How does all of their pieces of their financial puzzle fit together? Their investments, their employer plans, their insurance, their estate planning, you know, their debt management, right? You're looking at all of those pieces and building a really cohesive puzzle and plan that makes sense based off of their goals. So it's going to be more comprehensive in nature. And that's what we really aim to do here at Northwestern Mutual. Do we manage client money? 100%, right? We manage our clients' investments, we give them advice on that, we help them with some of their insurance planning, but we're really goals-based. And so that, I think, was the ultimate reason why I wanted to continue doing this career. Because I wanted to not just see one piece of the puzzle. I wanted to be able to understand who they were as a person, see all of their pieces of the puzzle, and help them get to their goals. So it's fun. Fast forward 5 years later, I have clients who we've helped them get into that home they really wanted to buy, or I've seen them now get married and have children when they were single when I first met them, and we've helped them through those life stages. And that's a really, I think, just special thing to be able to do, and ultimately what led me here. And then the last thing I'll say is what's fun, as you guys can tell, I'm also in a leadership position throughout our network. So there's a lot of different opportunities and places that you can go with your career inside of our firm in general. You can do it and decide, you know what, being a client-facing financial planner isn't something that I want to do, but then you could potentially join someone's team and be their financial analyst on the back end, or help them build those plans, or help them with some of the back end work. You can decide to go into leadership and help other people in our firm. There's just so many different opportunities, which is really unique too, because you can always explore those as well. Even throughout our internship, we have interns who have a leadership role for our other interns where they help lead. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Any other questions? You guys have any questions on like Northwestern Mutual or financial planning or anything like that?
Yeah. Do you know anything about underwriting or any underwriting positions for the company?
Yeah, great question. So underwriting is what happens when we have clients who will apply for some sort of insurance product. So when they do that, most insurance products are based off of your age and your health and your occupation and certain things. So they have to go through an underwriting process to see if they're going to get approved by that company, right? And so all of our underwriting specifically for Northwestern Mutual insurance products happen in Milwaukee. So Enrique, maybe you know this better, but so I know that like they're always looking for underwriters because that's, our firm is as a whole is continuously growing and we need more help in that area. But in terms of our local offices, we don't hire underwriters. Yeah, that would be like a national level.
Okay. And would you happen to know any like ideal certifications to get beforehand? Or I've seen online like sometimes you get hired and then they certify you, or maybe I misread something. I don't know.
That is a great question. I actually don't know the answer to that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I don't know the answer for that either for underwriting.
Okay.
Yeah. I do know so the internship program is like the lifeblood of our just Northwestern Mutual in general. So more than 50% of our managing directors, managing partners, people of leadership came from the internship program. So we have, like I said, a lot of individuals in our firms who started as an intern and now is somewhere else in the Northwestern Mutual system. And it is a really good in because you get to see really what we do. But yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know specifically what our home office in Milwaukee looks for their underwriters.
All right.
Yeah.
So in Northwestern, do you guys do any community development projects?
Yeah, great question. Did you want to talk about that?
No, you got it.
Okay. So in our network across our 6 offices, we do have a lot of philanthropy that we do and work on. So we have 6 D&I councils, I think?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have 6 D&I councils who are constantly doing different projects in the community and raising funds and doing those things for the community. And then as Northwestern Mutual as a whole, they're always doing, different projects. Our main thing that we focus on is childhood cancer for Northwestern Mutual as a corporation. That's one of our biggest just community philanthropy projects that we do. We work a lot with Camp Ronald McDonald, and then, yeah, our local offices, depending on what D&I council it is. You know, we have our Latino council, we have our women's council, we have our LGBTQA council, we have our Black Caucus council. I'm missing a couple, our philanthropy,
Asian American Council.
Asian American, I think that was it. I think those were the 6. So we do a lot of that just locally and nationally within our offices.
And just to piggyback on a couple of you guys' last questions, the internship gives you guys the experience to actually like experience underwriting, not just leadership, but just like business development. And as far as our councils go, she named all 6 of them, but there are some national ones that Northwestern has. One of our full-times yesterday just told me he joined it's a Latino one, and it's over all of the Northwestern Mutual Marketing Network or nationally. So there's always councils or things to be a part of. As far as Ontario goes, right now we're trying to work with a LGBT organization. Since we just got out here, we're just starting to kind of like get our feet wet and partner with certain organizations. And so we'll definitely be doing more as far as community project goes and building. And that's one of the things that I think Northwestern is great on, is like always being ahead of the curve and just progression within the company culture.
Yeah, so the Ontario office is less than a year old, which is fun. So we're like rapidly growing, and then our other offices are downtown LA, West LA, Manhattan Beach, Irvine, and then Vegas. But you know, what's really shocking to me when I joined Northwestern Mutual, I don't know about you guys, but like when I think about financial advisor, I thought like old dude in a suit. I don't know, like that's kind of the stigma, right? And in our culture, you'll see like that is not the case. We actually have a lot of young financial advisors. You know, we have opportunity to become more diverse, but when I was an intern 5 years ago in my office, there was only one other female financial planner. And now that's like drastically changed just in this past, 4 to 5 years. So that's also really fun because there's just so many different people in our firm who you wouldn't, normally expect. It's a very fun place to work, and a lot of young people.
And just to give you guys like a real life example, the girl who was just on the last slide, she's an actual intern now. Her name is Ashley. And the kid that we just showed right here, he's an actual intern right now. His name is Cleo. And he's a senior, she's a junior. And our managing director is actually the first female managing director in our network. Her name is Amber Romo. She's incredible. Hopefully you guys get a chance to meet her. So there's definitely, those are real life examples right there. They both attend Cal Baptist, and they've both been performing really well. And they love it. Like I said, they're probably there more than I am sometimes. I have to tell them to go home sometimes because they're either there with our college unit director or even some of the other full-time advisors, just asking questions and taking notes and just trying to figure out how they can get better. When they started, I promise you, they didn't know, they were afraid because they didn't know anything. And now, they probably know more than I do. Like, they're building plans and illustrations, and they're presenting them to their clients. They're helping people out and impacting their communities. So it's just been great to witness that, from them going to being afraid of I don't really know anything, to now walking around building their own illustrations and coming up with their own financial plans for their clients. And they're in college, they're still in school. So, they just took the business very seriously, and all of their clients take them seriously. So if you guys needed a real example, both of those two are in the Ontario office.
That's a great point. do you guys have questions or want to know anything more about like day in the life of a financial advisor? Like what would be most helpful for you guys?
I kept saying that like your office culture is very different, like it's very positive. Can you give like more like examples of like how you guys stand out rather than to other firms?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what makes us different is we're a very close-knit family. Everyone wants to see you succeed and hit your goals. And the really cool thing about that is if you're hitting your goals and you're succeeding, you're impacting more clients and helping them succeed and be more successful financially and in their lives. So that like, I can't think of any career where you can help someone financially and help them, build wealth while building wealth for yourself and your family at the same time and being able to sit at the same time side of the table with them. So that's the first thing, just about the career in general. The second thing with our firm, sometimes financial firms can be really competitive, right? You can sometimes have to, fight over certain accounts or certain clients or, things of that nature. We're not like that. We're very like friendly competition. Like I have a really good friend he's started as an intern with me now and he's still an advisor, and like we're competitive, like we always, in a friendly way, but like I never have to worry about, my fellow financial planner or individual colleague, being competitive in a bad way. Like we really, like when I win, they win, when they win, I win, and we really just try to support each other up. The other thing about our culture that I enjoy is we're constantly in a growth mindset. We always are working on ourselves, and we always believe that we can be better personally as humans, and professionally to better serve our clients and our community. And so this is not a career at our firm where you're going to sit around and not be challenged or not grow, and just kind of do the same thing. You're constantly going to be learning. You're constantly going to be growing personally, professionally, and financially. And so I think that's what really stands out.
And I think for me, it's the support, within our, network and office. I mean, I can reach out to anybody and there's somebody that will help me if I don't know, or like I need answers or I need help on something. There's always somebody that's willing to help. And the other thing is, I feel like Northwestern is probably one of the only companies that I worked at a lot of jobs and they like celebrate you for when you do something. And I think that's important because a lot of people aren't celebrated too much for even just doing the little things. And at Northwestern, like everybody, I feel like is supported in that sense. Like if you accomplish something, everybody's cheering you on. And I think that's just good, not only for like mental health, but just for you guys to get that motivation to keep going. So I really appreciate Northwestern support as far as like company culture goes. You can always lean on somebody to help you out if you need help with something.
Again, we like really care about our interns. Like we don't see you guys as interns. We just see our interns as young adults who are building a career, and like we want to support them and try and give them everything that we possibly can. They're not just, like I said, going and getting someone coffee or just sitting around and doing nothing and just like is a fly on the wall. I don't know what that means, but so yeah, I think those are some examples. Maybe I'll speak a little on just like day in the life of like what we do. Yeah. Okay. So this career is very simple. It's just not easy, but every single day is different but the same. And what I mean by that is usually my day, and this again is still the same from intern or to like where I'm at today full time in my career, but every single day it usually starts out with some sort of development session. Like Enrique was saying, like we have so much development throughout the week. Usually it's in the morning for an hour. So we'll start out with a development session. And then from there, after that, I typically will then start calling and reaching out to people. So those calls will consist of me reaching out to potential clients who I haven't met before, asking them if they would take a financial planning meeting with me, or if they'd be open to. Those calls can be clients that I currently have that maybe I need to get them on like a review, like on the calendar to do a review meeting. It can be really just anyone who, maybe it's a referral I received from a client of mine. So I make calls to set up my calendar and to set meetings essentially, which is where I think for most of our interns, that's where they take the most interpersonal risk, because you're like, who would take a meeting with me? I'm just now learning. But again, you have so much support and you're really working with a partner. So yeah, I start my day with that. And then the rest of my day, I'm seeing clients. And that's it. So like I said, it's simple, but it changes every day, because when I'm seeing clients, those meetings can be an initial financial planning meeting where I'm getting to know their goals and what they have going on. That meeting could be a meeting where I'm presenting the financial plan and I'm walking them through different recommendations and ideas, and we're deciding what we're going to implement. Another meeting in my calendar could be a client review meeting. It's been 6 months since the last time we've talked. What updates are we on track for our plan? And what updates do we need to save more money? Did you pay off that credit card that we talked about? All right, we're reviewing the plan. And those are really the three things. Other times it may just be like a meeting specifically on investments. Sometimes we'll just have a client meeting to review their investment portfolios. And that's it. So I probably see, let's see. So I probably have anywhere between 20 to 30 meetings on my calendar a week, and then usually end up seeing around 15 to 20 clients from that, because cancellations or reschedules happen. And yeah, I mean, that's it. It's simple, but it's fun because every conversation is different. So, it's not the same, which is nice. And that's what you guys would be doing if you were to be an intern in our program, is exactly that. The only difference is, you'll have a partner. And I still partner with some senior advisors who have been here for 20 years. There's still things that I can learn from them and have clients with them as well.
Is there like a lead vendor for financial planning? I know for a life and health insurance, you third party and buy leads, but for financial planning, is there something like that too?
Are you asking for leads?
Yeah.
Can you ask that question again?
Is there like a company that sells leads for financial planning like there are for life and health insurance?
Great question. Yeah. So at Northwestern Mutual specifically, we grow on a referral basis. So friend to friend referral basis. We don't do any cold calling really. For the most part, it's just based off of that referrals. Once you are a full-time advisor and have a specific tenure underneath your belt, you will sometimes get leads from people who go onto the Northwestern Mutual website and say, hi, my name's Jacqueline, and I want to speak to a financial advisor because of this reason. So Northwestern Mutual from their website, will get leads, and then we'll disperse that to their financial advisors based off of like where they're located. So I'll get introductions a lot through the Northwestern Mutual website for people who live in Santa Monica, because I'm in the West LA office. But the really like meat and potatoes of our business is through referrals and just the word of mouth. The reason why, well, let me ask, why do you guys think that we build our businesses off of like a referral basis versus like cold calling or leads?
Usually get a reputation.
Say that again?
Usually get a reputation.
Okay, yeah, so it like builds reputation. What else?
People that are more likely to work with you rather than just calling someone you don't know.
Totally, exactly, right? If I like called you today, I was like, hey, my name's Jacqueline, I'm a financial planner, do you want to talk to me? You're going to be like, who are you? Like, I don't know you and you want me to talk to you about my finances? That's a little scary, right? And so most people, when we look at different like surveys or research, they want to meet their financial planner through someone that they trust. So there's that gap there. You know, if I called you and said, what is your name?
Nick?
Nick, if I said, hey, Nick, this is Jacqueline. I'm a good friend of your friend Enrique. You know, I'd love to connect with you. I'm a financial planner. You may be more willing to potentially sit down, right, and feel comfortable. And so that's why we don't do a lot of leads. I mean, it's mostly referral basis.
For the internship program, do you work with people like, am I able to work with people out of state?
Yes.
Or, all right.
Oh yeah, I have clients across a lot of different states in the country. Yeah, I have clients who, especially after the pandemic now, I've never even met in person. And they're lovely and we have great relationships. So yeah, you're able to work across all states. Good questions, you guys. Any other questions? Has been helpful?
I have a question.
Yeah.
How exactly does the network work? So you guys have you have how many offices? 6?
6.
And then 1 in Ontario, right? So you guys work in Ontario specifically, or do you guys travel like between offices, or how does it work?
Well, that's actually a good question. You can, I mean, we work in Ontario specifically, but let's say you have a client in Santa Monica, then you can go and work out the West LA office if you like to for the day. Or if you're near Manhattan Beach, we have an office there. If you're in the OC, we have an office in Irvine. So typically we're like at our office or stuck to our office, but we can work out of any of the offices that are near, we have clients in that area.
Yeah, so I went to Cal State Fullerton, which is in Orange County. So when I started as an intern, I primarily worked out of the Irvine office because that was the closest one right to my school. But post-graduation, I did move to LA, and that's when I started working out of the West LA office within our network. Now in my director of internship development role, I do kind of go to a lot of our offices to see everyone. So I was in Ontario today, but I would consider my home base West LA at this point. And what's really cool is like, if I had a client in New York and I was visiting New York on vacation, but I wanted to see that client, like I could like go to the New York office and like have a meeting, with that client. Like we're all usually really great at being able to use each other's spaces. So yeah, that's nice. But yeah, so specifically Ontario is where Enrique's from. Cool, guys. Anything else? Anything? I'm an open book. Enrique's an open book. Anyone else from the virtual world out there?
Oh, when you said like, oh, you go to like all the different like buildings and stuff, do you mean like in person, or do you mean do you go on in Zoom, or is it like a mixture of both?
Yeah. It's a mixture of both. There's some things we do still via Zoom. Obviously, we had to pivot during COVID, but now primarily we're all back in person. We're all in our offices. We do some things in Zoom, but it's very few these days. We're usually in the office and in person.
And let's just say your client doesn't want to come out, you can do it on Zoom.
Oh yeah.
You can use Zoom just to hold your meetings, and it could be virtual. But yeah, as far as like us being in person, like working, we're all in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen since March of 2020, 2 clients in person. So I'm trying again. Prior to that, I would say like 95% of people I saw in person. So that was a really big shift. I'm trying now. I love seeing my clients in person. I love like sitting across, from someone and talking about their finances. I do miss that. So I'm trying to get people to come into the office, but I'm mostly seeing clients in person, virtually, but I am still going to the office and having that as my background and being there, because I also want, everyone to see them. I have an office and you're more than welcome to come whenever you want.
Most interns, they come in person, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do consider this like an in-person internship. Yeah, that's really important because again, I think if you're not in person, you don't see the culture, you don't have that community, and it's really important. there's so much learning that you can do when you're in person. Anything else you wanted to talk about? Covered a lot.
Yeah, we did. I don't have any. Do you guys have any more questions, or I feel like we answered a lot of you guys? You guys had really good questions too, by the way. Well, since I like to see who participates a lot, because it just shows that you guys are fearless. So I got 2 gifts for you guys. When we're done or out of here, since you guys asked a lot of questions. Our next session is Wednesday, May 18th through the 20th. We have, that's the one thing I forgot to mention is it's called Financial Planning Academy. It's a training for 3 days. And you guys will pretty much go through the academy and graduate, and then you guys will be able to start. And that's when our first summer session for internship starts. The second is in June. So if you guys are interested, I will have you guys sign up right here, and I can just follow up with you guys. Do you guys have finals during that time? I'm curious.
Yeah, when do you guys have finals?
She said, I don't know.
No, I don't know. I'm taking it day by day.
I've got the exam too right now, that's what I'm worried about.
I think it's the first week of June.
Okay.
Yeah, we are currently hiring for our summer sessions, and summer is so fun because most of our interns aren't in school, and like we do fun activities, and there's just like a bunch of interns running around and financial planning academy, and it's really a good time. So yeah, like Enrique said, we have a May class and a June class, and we're currently looking for students. So let us know, and we can see if it's a good fit.
And then the last thing is, just because you mentioned like it's fun.
Yeah.
We actually, I think everybody does for all the offices, but we just like to make sure our interns are having fun. The network has two camps that go on every year, as far as like nationally. And then our office specifically for our interns, we just always try to do stuff for you guys. We're going to be taking our current interns to Topgolf soon, the new Topgolf that just opened in Ontario. So we're also just always, having fun as well.
Yeah.
So they're just to add to that point of being fun. We know it's you guys' summer, so we definitely take that in consideration. I know I like to have fun, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Enrique's like the most fun, by the way. Like he's been kind of quiet, but he really is a good time. So all of our interns love him. And yeah, we're not all business. We do like to have a lot of fun. One year we did like a tiki cruise, like a little boat cruise. That was really fun in LA. And we try to, have fun as well. So yeah, thanks for having us, you guys. Thank you for coming. Yeah.
Thank you guys for having us. This is awesome.
Anything else? If not, we'll get out of here.
I think we're good.
Okay. I'm going to stop sharing this. Thank you for the people who were virtual. Thanks, Monica and Elizabeth.
I did have just one question about the sign up for the summer internships.
Yeah.
And so I'm not there in person. How can I sign up since I'm virtual?
You could email me and I will help you through the process.
Okay.
And you can see my email, correct?
Yeah, in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, just email Enrique.
I think.